Welcome to Make Shit Happen. This is episode number 48. Today's guest is Megan Gallogher. Megan is joining me from sunny California. Megan and her family. Megan, are you still with your family in California?
I currently live in Los Angeles, and they are in Northern California.
And y'all went on a vacation, right?
Yes.
Airbnb, you were on the quarantine together.
Yes, we just recently got back from a trip to San Diego. We rented an Airbnb because my family thought, why not? We're in this quarantine together, so why not make the best of it and change locations, at least go somewhere on the beach where it's pretty.
And how was that?
It was amazing. We all love being by the water. It's just so special. Every night it's like the most beautiful sunset. It's just so priceless. And it was really nice, being with family, but also I think what's really unique about this time is that we really an extra level of family time, where we can play board games or cards or dominoes and actually really connect instead of just, being like on our phones the whole entire time. It's like we all are kind of paused and actually genuinely connecting.
Perfect. And I mean, being by the beach is always great.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of places open around the beach. I mean, as restaurants or anything else.
There were a few restaurants open for takeout and for delivery, but it's still, everything's pretty locked up. But I know just as of a few days ago, I believe Southern California is getting better and things are going to start opening up slowly with phase 1. But, I really just choose to see the silver lining in everything. That's just how I was raised and what I believe my whole entire life. I just was, conditioned and raised in my own life experiences. I genuinely, for the rest of my life, I always search for the silver lining and the blessing, the lesson, I always look for that because it makes me feel better. And I really do believe that everything really does happen for a reason.
Perfect. So you say you were conditioned like that, throughout from the beginning.
Yes.
A little bit about it. And tell us a little bit about you, your background, your family, your childhood, if you don't mind.
Of course. So I am currently a 24-year-old two-time TEDx speaker. I am a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. In nonfiction, all 3 of my books got hit at #1. They stayed there for 5 weeks. I am an AfterBuzz TV host and a writer. I am also a mental health advocate for teenagers, and I have my own podcast, Reaching New Heights. And for me, how I got to where I am right now is my whole life growing up, I struggled severely with chronic anticipatory anxiety and panic attacks. I also struggled with body image issues, self-love, confidence, self-esteem. And I was always really, really fascinated by how all of these things, whether it was my anxiety or I wasn't feeling good about myself, how it all played and showed up in every area of my life, whether that was, I'm hanging out with this group of friends because I feel this way about myself. And the main inspiration for why I am doing what I do is because in my middle school and high school, even though I was struggling, I really took a notice of there's no open, honest conversations, whether it's because of the assembly or in my friend group, in my, PE classes, anything. No one was really talking about mental health or depression, anxiety, how to follow your dreams, how to make sure that you're happy. And it really struck me because I thought I was the only teenager in my whole school of like 800 people. I thought I was the only one feeling really anxious, overwhelmed, not good about myself, constantly confused about just, overthinking every little detail. And it's just been a very full circle journey because I really am I wanted to become the person that 16-year-old Megan needed at that time. So now I've really, turned my pain into my purpose. And I speak at middle schools and high schools across the country about what I needed and wanted someone to talk about, but I was too embarrassed and afraid to ask for.
So, I know you speak at YMCA's and schools and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how I first met you, because I saw something, a clip of you talking at a middle school, and I'm like, oh man, this girl's cool. And I think I reached out to you.
Oh.
It was like several months ago, and me and you have
Mm-hmm.
tried to hook up. You were gonna come to Austin before all this lockdown happened, and
Yes.
we were gonna meet up. But I'm so glad we are connecting right now. Matter of fact, you're my first guest via Zoom. So
Really?
yeah, so I'm
Heck yeah.
love my
Woo.
experience with you.
Yeah, I love that. Zoom has been, a lifesaver. And I remember that. I remember I was going to be there for South by Southwest. I was speaking there. And then this whole thing, I vividly remember being in Texas with my videographer, and we were doing a photo shoot. And we just started getting emails saying, have you heard what's going on? And we're like, no, it's probably just a rumor. I don't know, fake news. And then it was like, oh no, this is real. And so unfortunately, that all happened.
Good call. Let's talk about you being a TEDx speaker first.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you become a TEDx speaker?
So when I was 19, so after high school, I graduated 2014. I moved down to LA, and I didn't do well academically in high school. Grades were never my thing, so I moved down to LA. Went to Santa Monica City College for a year and a half. And then after that, I was like, I wasn't happy. If you've ever had that gut feeling, whether you're in a relationship with someone or you're living somewhere, or you have that unexplainable feeling of something just doesn't feel right. It feels off. I can't put my finger on it. There's no words to explain how you're feeling. And I really felt that way. And it was hard because, I thought, oh no, but college is the right thing to do. It's logical, it's realistic. And, I'm going to make myself proud, my parents, everything. But I felt like I was meant for something else. This gut feeling, it's like I was at a crossroads, and, this is like the logical, safe, you'll make more money with this degree. And then this route was like following my dreams. I love being on stage. I did acting and drama class and dancing and, theater my whole entire life. And I love performing for other people. I love entertaining people. I love acting, and, that always made me feel good. And so I had to kind of make that choice. And then I left college at 19. I literally dove headfirst into, I know what I want to do. I called my parents. They were very supportive. So they said, Megan, if you want this, then make it happen yourself. So I was like, okay. I literally just went 100 miles per hour. I was like, I'm going to make business cards. And I actually walked. I would go from school to school to school, and, like a classic business salesperson, go door to door. I would make business cards, put on a nice outfit, and I would talk to the principals and just introduce myself. I would drive around for hours every single day, just going from school to school to school to school. And by the way, this is with no like classical training. I mean, to me, all you need is yourself. And if you have a mindset of, I know I can do this, that's all you need. Seriously. I think people get caught up in, oh, but you need this, and that person did it that way. Just do it. Literally, just do it. I promise. Like, that's what I did. I just faked it till I made it. Even though I was nervous, I knew from my parents, I knew I had really good speaking, networking, personal skills. And I knew I was a people person, and I knew, I was very good in person, interviewing and talking, and a bubbly personality. So I was like, I'm just going to go door to door. I spoke at YMCA's, Boys and Girls Clubs, for free. Just I would have my friend, or I would record it myself, my talks. And then I would go on YouTube and edit the video and make a speaking reel. I also did Toastmasters classes 3 times per week, which is Toastmasters. It's like that public speaking. You can practice your public speaking skills, which is amazing. And I just didn't stop. Like, if I were to summarize it in any way, I just, open one door. Okay. That didn't work. Try 500 more, like A through Z through.
You got the gigs at YMCA and then the Toastmaster. How did you land the speaking gig on TEDx?
Well, so that was 2 years. So after I started speaking at the YMCA's for free, I thought, I want a TEDx talk. That would be like the next level. That would be so cool. So every single day for 2 years, I sent in 6 applications. Every single day I went online and I, filled it out. It took like 3 minutes, just a little online profile. I sent away. And then so I sent up to 6 every single day for 2 years. And then finally, 2 years later, I got, and it was a lot of, no responses, no's, a lot of people saying, thank you so much, Megan, but unfortunately, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, not a problem. Next. My personality, if I want something, I don't stop until I get it.
Every day for 2 years, 6 different applications.
Yes.
6.
So when you apply to speak at a TEDx talk, you go on their website and you find, if you live in San Francisco and you want to speak at a event at the TEDx, UCSF or something, you go online and you Google that upcoming event. And as long as it is like 7 months away, because if you're a speaker, you need to, rehearse and practice and for like a few months. So as long as you're in a good time frame, you send in an application online. So you fill it out, you press like apply, submit, you want to be a speaker, you fill out your name, address, why you would be a good addition to the team, and does your talk fit the theme of the TEDx event, and you just send it. And then, so yeah, for 2 years straight, I just kept at it.
You got a call.
Yes. After 2 years, I got a call, and I mean, it sounds crazy to say out loud, but it's really, I don't think a lot of people, I think a lot of people, they want the end result. They want the whatever, they want the fame, they want the hoopla, they want the notoriety. A lot of people won't do the work. Like the nitty gritty, the not fun parts, not the highlights on Instagram, like the everyday sending emails by yourself and different like Starbucks every day. Like I did that. But so 2 years goes by, I finally got an email saying, hi, Megan. So we have one speaker who got sick. They have mono. So they're pulling out. Do you want to take their spot? But this is after 2 years, by the way. He said, but I just have to like tell you in advance, you only have 2 weeks to prepare. So it's up to you. And I literally did not, I thought about it for 5 seconds. I was like, yeah, because I've been waiting for so long, and I did it and I killed it. Like the talk went so well, and it was beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
You talk about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. So now tell us a little bit. You said you suffered with anxiety and panic. You had panic attacks and everything. For a person who's listening to this podcast, right, or watching you, they're like, well, we don't know what is a panic attack. I mean, why do people get panic attack?
Yes.
Anxiety. I mean, because person like me who have never had one, how does it feel? Explain it to us.
Well, let me bring out my scroll of information. So a panic attack, in my opinion, a panic attack is really when you're overthinking. You're thinking about too many things at once. You're kind of overstimulating your mind. It's too many things at once. So your body needs a release. It's like, imagine going up a roller coaster for like 2 hours. You're like, okay, when's the drop? Okay. It's like, it's just that release. Like you can't keep on going up. So
1 second. So we have all seen movies, we've all seen shows, or someone is having a panic attack.
mhm,
That's what we all think about, right? But,
mhm.
but if somebody has, this mental health issue where they're getting these panic attacks, these anxiety, it's a little different than just somebody, having this big, some kind of, just a panic moment. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes. So a panic attack is really just the physical response of thinking too many things at once. But a lot of people, like for me, when I was in high school and I struggled a lot, I I hid my panic attacks. Like looking at me, you would never know. I became really good at keeping a poker face and just, I could talk to people, I could do things while having a panic attack. But for a lot of people, they have to come home from school or work, or they're in fetal position lying on the floor in their room or on the bathroom floor. And, it's like a whole body, you feel like your body is shutting down. A lot of people, you can feel like 400 different things. You can get a headache. You can feel like your lungs are collapsing and like your chest, like there's an elephant sitting on your chest and like you cannot like even catch a breath. You can feel dehydrated, tired, thirsty, irritated. You can feel kind of like you're not in your body, like you're just kind of floating on autopilot. You can feel just like you're dizzy, like the room is spinning. You can get kind of vertigo symptoms. You can feel, a lot of people go to the ER, thinking I'm having a stroke or a heart attack, but it's really just a panic attack. So it's very aware, if you are having a panic attack and you're thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to die. This is it. This is how I go. Because I used to think that a lot to myself. Just write, if you can, write down or say out loud what your thoughts are, like while you're in the middle of it. Because if your thoughts are negative or they are like, what happens, what if, anything out of your control or in the future from the past, it's just a panic attack. Because really it's just your thoughts are negative, or you're focusing on things you can't control, or you're assuming, anticipating, something in the future, or thinking about the past. That's going to cause your body to have a pit in the stomach. You just feel like you just feel like you want to just like get out. Like if you're in a room, you feel hot and sweaty and like you're going to pass out, or you need water, you need air, you want to like just get out. Like you need a break in a moment to like take deep breaths. Because
When did you start getting those?
so I was having panic attacks even when I was like 4 years old. I was, feeling anxious, but it wasn't until my freshman year in high school where I was old enough to like, be able to speak and actually feel, okay, something's going on. This is kind of weird. And it always happens at the same time every day. Like I started putting the pieces together of what's making me feel this way. It's not the flu. It's not a stomach ache. I'm too young to like, it's not a like, it's not a horror. Like I'm too young to be experiencing anything severe. And so I started kind of putting two and two together, and I really just, had an epiphany where I thought, well, maybe it's my mind. Maybe my mind is anticipating I'm going to feel this way. Because yesterday at 10:30 a.m., in English class, I felt this way. This morning, it's 10:30 a.m., so I kind of started realizing, and I think it's important to just journal and to take notes of how things make you feel. And at certain times of the day, like everyone has a trigger, and it's important to be aware of your triggers. Is it every time after you drink a cup of coffee, you start feeling the jitters, like, oh, or is it right before bed? Is it after you, like a certain time of year? Is it after you always talk to that one family member that always kind of makes you feel really anxious? Just being aware of your triggers.
Gotcha. And so how did you deal with it at that time? I mean, being a young girl, teenager at that time.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that. I mean, did your family support you? What happened?
Yes. So I feel really, really lucky because my family is extremely supportive, and they, I think my mom and dad always knew that I was anxious, but it wasn't until I said something, I sat them down and I just laid it all out there. And they literally were so supportive, so loving. But I think that my whole life, like all along, they knew that I was like, had a lot of energy. I was always an extrovert. Like, I have an older sister, but we're really opposite. I'm more extrovert, very, social, like very bubbly, high energy, always like I'm always working out. I'm always doing things. I have a lot of, motivation, and I always want to be busy. But so it's just, when I was 14, I sat them down, explained to them, and my mom and dad said, "We love you so much, Megan. Thank you for telling us." And I really felt better because the anxiety had been going on for about 5 months. And it's just, I felt like I needed help because it wasn't going away. And I would, feel this anxiousness. And then I would ask my teacher, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And then I would run to my bathroom, the school bathroom, and I would run to my nurse's office and call my mom and say, "Mom, can you pick me up? I have a headache again. I feel that dizziness." And she would just say, "Megan, just stick it out. You're fine." But I really, 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 owe a lot of credit to my parents for not saying anything until I said something, because I think they handled it very maturely. Because it would have been bad, if I was like 12 years old and they said, "Megan, you're going to have anxiety," because, then my mind would have anticipated that and then, created that. But they really waited until I, announced that I needed extra help and that I felt something was off. And I wanted to learn how to get out of it myself.
The other day when I was talking to you, you said, your dad used to tell you something like, "Megan, it's not happening to you." I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, everything. He said, "Megan, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you." My dad used to say that to me, which I still think about all the time today.
Yeah, that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yeah, and that's something, honestly, like my dad is like the greatest guy ever, and he's such a good dad. But I will never forget when he told me that. I was like, oh, it was just, one of those epiphany moments. And now in my life, I really, put that on every situation. If something is going on in work, personal, health, anything, I just apply the same thing. Even with this quarantine going on, I say that phrase, "This is happening for me, not to me." And I just feel better because I'm like, oh, right. Because there is a teaching, I believe that there is a teaching and a lesson to be learned in every situation. Even, when you're going about your life and then you run into someone from the past and you're like, wow, didn't expect to see that person. And then, it triggers and brings back all these old memories. I really do believe that just, there's lessons to be learned and things to be like, oh, maybe this is happening because, I need to set boundaries with people, or I need to learn, I don't have to people please, or I don't owe anyone anything. And just, I really do believe in just kind of like the karmic cycle of life.
And I love it. Because I've been thinking about that since Thursday. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Such a powerful word, right? Megan, you said you wrote a couple of books. Tell us how many exactly?
3.
3. And you're writing a 4th one.
Yes, currently in the works with my 4th. I am so excited. I have, a ghostwriter who's helping me on the manuscript right now. I also have a publisher and an editor, and I really am excited to pitch it to, publishing houses and hopefully get it in like Barnes and Noble, like actually see it on the book stands. That's like my biggest dream ever. Or, going to the airports and in the souvenir shops, like that's literally my biggest dream, is just to walk by a little bookstore and just see my book.
In the front.
Yeah. Yes.
With your picture on the cover. So now let me ask you, what is this book about?
So this one is about my personal view on the school system, and specifically why I've dedicated my life to changing it. Just from my own experience, I really feel like we as a society, and especially the school system, the current public school system, we need to be setting teenagers up for success. And I really feel that having mandatory classes, just like biology, history, math, everything, having classes for an hour where kids just meditate, kids just lie on a mat or journal and write about their feelings. I mean, how powerful is that? Because in my own experience, I know a lot of people that I went to high school with, that I grew up with, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but it's like they set teenagers up like, great, you did great in high school academically, you're on to college, amazing. And then, you get past college and a lot of kids just move home. They kind of reach a point where they're like, I don't know what to do. I've never been taught to ask myself, I've never been taught to look within. But that's the problem, is we need to teach teenagers while they're young to know that, one, they have all the answers within. Two, they have to monitor and really take inventory of, how am I feeling? What's going on in my life? Just really check in with yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And that, to me, is how you'll be successful in life. Like everything else, yes, money is amazing. Everything else is important. I totally get that. But I think what's more important is you want to be happy and you want to be healthy and you want to be having, morning, nighttime, midday routines that really make you feel good. And you want to just take care of yourself and fill up your cup. And I'm a really big believer in it, because I know what it feels like to be a people pleaser, where you feel so guilty, saying no to people, or you feel like just you're not good enough. You feel insecure. You feel like you have to, do so much in order to be like, I know what all of that feels like. So I want to teach teenagers the real way of how to have confidence, like the real, authentic, the long lasting, when you make a relationship with yourself.
So the book is, you like to change, you would like to change the school system, and so would a lot of people, because I honestly believe, I'm with you, that there's a lot of things missing. There's a major gap, right? We take these biology classes or these chemistry classes or, algebra, and if you're not in that field or you don't go study those, in that area, you'll never use them. But yes, talking about your feelings, or meditating, or even like a class like where how are you supposed to act in the real world? What should you do? How should you behave at a job, and how should you behave in the society?
How to pay taxes? How to write a check? How to change a tire? I mean, like, hello.
We don't do that, right? There's school system is lacking that real life deal. So and we spend, as kids, we spend all our life, till we are 18 in school, right? Not knowing the real world, how do I get my lights turned on, or my gas turned on, property taxes, like you said, and income tax. And a lot of us get in trouble because of that. So, I agree with you. And meditating, that's great. Do you meditate?
Oh, I am the queen of self-care. I have so many routines. For me, I really also, I believe in energy. Like growing up, I did a lot of typical and, kind of old school like therapy for my anxiety and EFT tapping. But now as an adult, I've realized I'm really, really spiritual. And I really genuinely do believe in every person, everything has energy, has their own energy to it. So I think it's really important. And I know for me, I can get easily overwhelmed when I, meet a lot of people in one day, or I just have a lot of things going on. I feel like every single person in this world has their own kind of like a personality. Everyone has their own vibe, their own energy. And I feel like for me, meditation helps me kind of like, get back to Megan and just feel grounded and kind of like in my body rather than, oh, I have to do that. And I feel kind of overextended and just like out in the ethers almost. Like that sounds crazy, but I just feel like I know.
Since you're the queen of meditation and self-care, I'm going to ask you a tricky question.
Yeah.
Hear like, oh, meditation. And, meditation, the word meditation and the practice of meditation has become very mainstream, recently, and has gained the next echelon of popularity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Jay Shetty, who's also a monk, who's talking about meditation, and a lot of the self-help gurus, motivational speakers, and everybody. But sometimes people don't even know how to meditate. They hear meditate, but how do they meditate? So tell us a little bit, how do you meditate?
I meditate by doing what makes me feel good. I meditate by getting in my car, putting the sunroof down and just driving around listening to my favorite music. I meditate by going on a hike in nature. You don't have to, I think people think, oh, I have to sit on a yoga mat and I have to close my eyes and I have to force myself. Like, that's not fun. That's not enjoyable. That's not realistic. So I like to just kind of listen to my body, but I also do enjoy lying on a mat, and I'll go on YouTube. I will search in guided meditation for anxiety for 10 minutes, for 40 minutes. I love binaural beats. I love anything EFT tapping once again. And I'll just play that on YouTube, and I'll close my eyes, lie on my bed or a yoga mat, and I will just take really deep breaths. I also love breath work, like the Wim Hof breathing technique. That's amazing. I love alternate nostril breathing technique. And I really, I just honor who I am and my personality. And I think it's important to know when you feel, and I use this term a lot, but I really do believe in it, when you're leaving your body versus when you're in your body. I think when you're out of your body, that's when you feel anxious, like you have 4,000 things to do, and oh gosh, and this person I have to, text them back, and versus, center yourself first. Because I think when you're out of your body, you think, oh gosh, and what if I'm not good enough? And you're not putting yourself first. But I feel like I make my best choices when I've meditated, I've done my breathing, I've, laid on a mat, and I feel connected to myself.
So, you said routine, right? Earlier you said, hey, everybody should. So what is your daily routine? Let's just give me an example.
Oh my gosh. It is. Okay, first of all, my daily routine, it is not simple. Like, I'm just going to start by saying that. So I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. I lie in bed. I do some deep breathing, and I kind of invented this little breathing technique where I start by inhaling and expanding my stomach with that inhale. And then I inhale even more, and I bring the air up to my chest, and then I exhale it all out. So, I do that cycle about 3 times, and then for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I get up in my kitchen, I get some warm water, I squeeze lemon in it, and then I do raw honey, and I have these vitamin C. I call it the vitamin C blast drink, where I have vitamin C capsules. I'll take that out, mix it all together, heat it up in the microwave. So it's like a warm, it's not just good for your immune system, but as I speak a lot, I talk a lot. So my throat, I really have to be careful. So I like doing a lot of warm, not hot, but warm liquid to really, make sure I can speak and do everything. And then I have celery juice. I have a healthy breakfast, and I just work out, get all the good energy flowing. And then I check my emails and texts.
So that's good. So you don't touch your email or text or Instagram or Facebook in the morning.
No.
Wait, so that's awesome. Now, Megan, somebody like you're pretty young. You're 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you accomplished that. You want to write a book. You accomplished that. You're writing your 4th book. What is next for Megan Gallogher?
What is next for me? Well, a huge dream of mine actually right now, I want to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They have a swimsuit edition where they feature women of all different ages, colors, and sizes and everything. I really love, they're all about, really just diversity. And I really feel like having that under my belt would add so many, I could share my message even more and use that platform to inspire teenagers. Even if you have anxiety or depression or body image issues, you can still follow your dreams and be successful. Because I know when I was younger, that is something I used to get hung up on. I used to really think, oh gosh, I struggle with chronic daily anxiety and overthinking and worrying too much. So, is that going to impact my level of success? I really used to think that, but I realized, no, it doesn't. It actually serves me because it makes me very, focused, and I want to accomplish things. So also, the dream is to be like Tony Robbins. I want to go on tours and sell out arenas. I want to be a New York Times bestselling author. Actually, I will. I'm going to change my vocabulary. I will be a New York Times bestselling author. I will be like Tony Robbins. I will be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I will have my own, line of journals and candles and essential oils. And I have huge dreams.
Very good that you change vocabulary. I will. I mean, those are powerful words. I am and I will. So let's, if someone is watching this or listening to this and they say, well, what is really your message to teenagers or the youth? What is it, Megan?
It's my message to the youth is that whatever you are feeling right now, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed, confused, depressed, not feeling not confident, just know that it is happening for you, not to you, and it does serve a purpose. And it's really helping you just reach your best potential, and just trust that things happen for a reason. And it's just, your pain is your purpose. I used to be so embarrassed and ashamed by my anxiety, and I used to cry at the thought of people finding out, my friends finding out, and then, imagining I wouldn't be invited places, all these things. But none of that has come true. And it's actually been the full opposite. I have met so many incredible people. I've had so many old friends from high school reach out to me saying, Megan, like you're a superstar. Like, oh my gosh, like I love what you're doing. You're so incredible. Your energy is contagious. So just know that there is such a power in opening up and sharing your vulnerabilities to people you trust, but just knowing that, you can literally accomplish anything, and the sky's the limit. Past the sky, actually, like the moon.
So Megan, right now we know that when people are lonely, it also causes depression, right? And
Yes.
When we are doing this quarantine period and everything is locked down, and especially like high school seniors or even juniors in high school, right? They're just by themselves. They're forced to do classes online, and not everybody is cut out to be that way. And
Of course.
and some parents are very strict, and they don't want them to go out. And if they have any kind of asthma or any kind of underlying medical condition, I mean, they're just confined in their homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and some people, I mean, you're blessed that you have a great family, and the family want to do. But sometimes some people don't have that, and the parents might be essential workers, or the parents are busy, or might be from a single parent family. Well, and if they're feeling some kind of way, what would you tell them? Or
I
those,
would just I would just say, one, understand and write it down however you can really feel it best. Understand that you are not the only person feeling this way. Just really take that in for a minute, really understand, you know what? I am not the only senior in high school, senior in college, eighth grader, going to high school. I'm not the only person feeling this way. And two, write down a list of everything that you can control. It will make you feel better, writing down and focusing on, okay, so there's a lot of things going on right now that are out of my control. There's, the government, just like that can make you feel anxious when you start focusing on that. So literally, I can control what I eat today. I can control if I make a healthy choice, healthy meal, how much sleep I get. I can control if I exercise, like bring it back to the basics. I can control what I think about. That's always your power. You can control how you treat other people, how you react to other people. When you start focusing on, oh, wait, I actually do have a lot of power, it makes you feel better, and it's going to make your day go a lot more productive.
got you. So I appreciate that. So, any other thing that you would like to share that we have not asked you or talked about?
Ooh, I, I love talking about my biggest influences growing up. I think I had
that question on my list and I forgot, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes. So I personally, for me, growing up, I had so many just huge inspirations. I would say one of them, Oprah Winfrey, for sure. I literally, growing up, and talk about manifesting too, just 2 weeks ago, I did an Instagram live with Oprah Winfrey's creative director at her magazine, and his name's Adam Glassman. He was it was so, during that moment, I was like, oh, wow, this is what manifesting really is. And it was so powerful. And I, Oprah Winfrey and Tony Robbins and Sir Richard Branson, Bill Gates, just so many, incredible people. And also, even though he's passed away, like Tupac, it's kind of funny. People are like, really, Tupac? But when I was really, really, really in the trenches of my struggles, every single day I had a poster in my room with a Tupac quote. And it said, through every dark night, there is a brighter day after that. So no matter how hard it gets, stick your head up, put your chest out, and handle it. And every day driving to school, I was like getting ready for battle. I felt like, I had to toughen up and just prepare myself for, if I can get through, just this 2 hours and just, focus, if I can do that, then I've won. Like I literally would like have a, like a celebratory moment. I was like, if I can get through these 7 classes, then I've won. And I've, like I won over the anxious thoughts. And so I would repeat to myself that quote all day long. Also the rapper Kid Cudi, I'm a huge fan of his, and he's been very open about his struggles with mental health and addiction. But for me, and one of my dreams is to meet him, and just all I want is just to tell him how much his song, Soundtrack to My Life, it literally changed my life. There's a lyric in the song where it says, I've got issues that no one can see. Like I've got some issues that nobody can see, and all of these emotions are pouring out of me. And I will never forget how many times, when I felt like I was feeling anxious and I couldn't put like a label on what I was feeling, and I felt like I couldn't explain myself. That lyric, it just took the words out of my mouth, and that I was like, oh, someone understands how I'm feeling. Like, I have all of these emotions and feelings, but no one can see it. And it feels so. The rapper Kid Cudi, his music really, really, really positively changed my life.
That's awesome. Now, so you said Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins. I'm assuming you're a big Tony Robbins fan.
I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. I feel like I'm getting closer to meeting him because I've been to his events. I know people who know him, and it's just getting more connected. But I really resonate with a lot of what Tony says, and he's been through very traumatic, challenging, hard times. And you don't meet many people that have turned such a traumatic childhood into such a positive thing. You really don't. And he gives back so much. And I love how he is helping end hunger in America, and he donates. He's awesome.
Yeah, hunger around the world.
Yeah.
And, yes. And you know what? I love Tony Robbins, and I definitely want to meet him one day too. I saw that you had tea with Gary Vee.
Yeah.
People would kill for that, literally. So tell us about that.
So that was basically me, sending over like hundreds of DMs to him and his team and everyone.
DM, please tell me, does he answer your DM? Or did he ever answer your DM?
He did not answer my DM.
Mine neither. So listen to this. Check this out.
If I'm going to be very honest, but that doesn't mean, it's just when you're at that level, I don't think you answer DMs. You don't really have.
I got to tell you this one. You talk about manifestation, right? I'm manifesting something. So I am, one of my friends took me to Vegas in early January. We were in Vegas, and on the way we were doing something, and we were on the plane, and I was watching a video, and he was, this guy Gary. I'm like, yeah, I like him. I follow him, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, but I send him a DM all the time. I said, if I meet this guy one day, I'm going to go run up to him and say, hey, man, why you never answer my DM?
Mm-hmm.
5 hours later, listen to this. 5 hours later, I'm sitting at Aria, okay, and I'm playing blackjack. And I see someone across the hallway on the other side of the tables, and I'm like, that looks like Gary Vee. So I left the table,
I love it.
Left everything over there, went around and saw this guy say, hey, why you don't answer my DMs, man?
No way. You said that?
And he looked at me and he's like, man, I get a shitload of them every day. I can't answer all of them.
No.
So I introduced myself, talked to him for about a good 5-6 minutes, took a picture with him, did a little snap with him, and he was the greatest guy. I was so fucking starstruck, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to say, and I wish I could have said more.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so that's one of my missions is to spend about an hour with Gary Vee. I like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Lewis Howes, who is in LA.
Yeah.
Lewis Howes?
I do know Lewis Howes. And you know what's funny? At a Tony Robbins, the Unleash the Power Within 2 years ago in Los Angeles at the convention center, Jay Shetty was there, and I met him. I went up to him and I started crying. Jay Shetty is the nicest guy. He literally stayed and talked to me for 30 minutes.
Really? So Jay Shetty's on my list.
Nicest guy ever.
Yeah, Brandon Bouchard.
Yeah.
Graziosi. Probably 7 people I really do want to meet.
I want to meet Rachel Hollis too. I love her.
Oh, you know who else I want to meet? What's the lady's name who Spanx? She's the CEO of Spanx.
Sarah Blakely and her husband, they're like power couple goals.
Power couple. And Mel Robbins. Have you ever Uh,
I love, yeah.
Robbins is. She has
Yes.
that, the 5 second rule.
I love it.
It's a great book. 5 second rule, and that matter of fact, she has kind of that book has kind of changed some of my life, so that's good. But neither here nor there. That's what I want to also meet them. Tell us about your tea with Gary Vee. How did you hook up with Gary? What happened?
So, I mean, it was crazy. Just like he's really, really nice too, by the way. I was excited, but I mean, I wasn't really nervous because this this may come across as like arrogant or something, but I feel like I've talked to so many, people. I don't really get starstruck, to be totally honest, unless it's Oprah or Jim Carrey. I would like flip out, but I don't really get starstruck. Truly, I don't know. It's just like I've been in LA for so long. It comes with the territory. But I mean, he was just so nice, and he gave me, really, really great advice about specifically my niche of being a motivational speaker for teenagers and just how to make a consistent monthly income. And, he's very smart. He's very business oriented, and he just has a really quick mind. But I made him smile. Like, I was the first guest on the Tea Time, like that was almost a month ago. And I, just like it went on. It happened so quickly. It was just me and him in the Zoom, and I'm like, Gary. He's like, Megan. I was like, woo.
And he has a very quick mind, and man, his work ethics are, I mean, they're crazy. The guy,
He's yeah. I mean, I think his personality, it works really well. I think some people are meant for certain things in life, but clearly he is meant to be like head honcho, total, like, I don't know. He just reminds me of like a James Bond, you know what I mean? Just like a slick, smart, like smooth, a one-liner type guy.
I like it. But I think my main, like, out of those people that I said, I think Tony is probably number one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Gary. I really like Lewis Howes. I mean, I listen to his podcast all the time.
Yeah, they're all, I think that certain people are put on this earth, to help other people. And they clearly all have experienced and gone through things. And I think it's really beautiful when someone can turn all of that negativity or the hardship and, one, to have the self-awareness to not put it onto other people, but to have the awareness of, you know what, I went through this, like, the pain ends with me, it stops with me. I'm going to like start the domino effect. I'm going to start spreading positivity, kindness, it's a really powerful thing that not everyone can do.
All right. Three questions I want to ask you before we end this.
Let's do it.
One, what is your point of view of humility?
Humility. My point of view of humility is just being down to earth. I think it's just the moments where you're reminded of your roots and where you've come from and how far you've gone. And I try to, keep that in mind of, it wasn't too long ago. I was the girl sitting in history and English class, like pinching my hands under my desk and trying to, keep my panic attack. I didn't want other people to see. And so I keep myself in check. I think humility is just being down to earth and being like humble and remembering that life is amazing and we have so many things that we can choose to be grateful for. And when you focus on that changes your whole entire life. And thankfully I have parents. I come from a family where they keep me very, grounded, and they're very, I feel grateful for my upbringing.
All right. If everything was to be erased, your books are gone, everything is gone, right? And you want to leave on a piece of paper 3 messages for the future generation, your kids, your grandkids, and the world, what would that be? 3.
3 messages? Oh gosh. Okay, well, the first
How to live your life. That can be the way of life.
Okay, well, the first one is going to be my favorite. You already know what's coming. It's going to be everything is happening for you, not to you. Second one would be just take a moment and soak in all that you're grateful for and fill yourself up with positive, good feelings, because I'm a big believer in feeling good and priming yourself, whatever it is you do to just get into a good state of mind. Tony Robbins talks a lot about that, like changing your physiological state, working out, you feel amazing, right? So when you're in that place, go take action, go manifest, go make your vision board, because it's like you're fueling, thoughts and energy and in that state of mind, and then taking action, and then, wishing and asking the universe for all those things.
Okay.
And then my last piece would be, just life's too short to do anything or to hang around people or to just be stuck in a place where you're miserable, and to know that you always deserve better, and to just trust your gut feeling when you feel like you're settling or you feel like you're giving too much of yourself and you're not getting anything back. Life is just way too precious. And I've realized that, knowing my worth and how much I give to other people and my energy, vibrational level, is I'm going to spend it with people who are also at this energy level of eating healthy, clean eating, working out, spiritual, positive. So thankfully now at 24, which is still a young age, I feel grateful that I have the awareness at a young age, and I've already made very positive shifts in my life instead of waiting, till 95 where it's like, you're done. I just am grateful of how self-aware I am. But last one would be, life is too short. Just make the changes, do what you need to do, get yourself into a good place, hang out with people who are also high achievers, driven, focused, passionate, and just, good to be around.
Awesome. Last question. You ready for the last one?
I am, Sam. Let's go.
One thing that you can do before you get to age 30, what would that be? Because you got 6 years.
One thing
you can do before, well, let's just say one thing you can do before you get 30, before you turn 30.
Like, if I could do one thing?
One thing that you always wanted to do before you turn 30, what would it be? Would it be meeting Oprah Winfrey? Would it be buying a house? Would it be buying a Lamborghini? Would it be, I don't know, anything? What would it be?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind, sounds cheesy, it would be to fall in love with a guy. That's just something that, honestly, I have so many things, like, of course, meeting Jim Carrey, meeting Oprah, helping other people more, giving back more. I would say, if I had 2 that were battling for the top place, it would be to meet Oprah Winfrey, for sure. And I feel like that's already kind of out there in the stratosphere. Like, that's just a matter of time before it happens for me. But I also do want to fall in love and just meet the love of my life and experience true. I believe in soulmates. I believe in all of I'm very, very I'm a hopeless romantic. So I want to experience falling in love, but also I want to meet Oprah.
Somebody's wondering over there, is Megan single? Is she dating somebody? What is it?
I am single and ready to mingle, but I have a specific list of requirements. I'm very, very picky. I'm very very specific on what kind of energy I let into my life.
For you. We're going to get you to post a list on your Instagram, okay? Where can they find you?
Wait, what?
How they can find you on social media.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. My Instagram is at Megan, MEGANW Gallogher, like the show Shameless, like the singer from Oasis, GALLAGHER. So Megan W. Gallagher. I also have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn. My website is also meganwgallagher.com. But yes, I am single and ready to mingle. And I will say my preference, I like athletes. I like professional athletes. So any pro football players, hit me up.
All right, so Megan, you're going to put a list on your Instagram. When should the list be ready?
Oh my gosh, that will be ready in 5 minutes. I've written so many letters. I know exactly what I want. I just haven't met it yet. But I feel like it's going to be like this huge, like,
Let's put it out there. Let's write a list. Remember, you said it. Write it down. What are you waiting on, girl?
I think it's just timing. God, universe knows what I want. I've made lists on my computer, in my notes on my iPhone. You should see how many pictures of like, these male athletes, like these rugby football player, like it's my screensaver on my laptop.
Well, I'll tell you what, one athlete that you have a crush on.
Oh, do you know Sam Darnold?
Yes, I know Sam Darnold, right.
I have a crush on him. He plays for the New York Jets. I also have a crush on wait, what?
Sam Darnold, did he get mono last year or something?
Yes. He's probably not contagious anymore. I also have a crush on Tyler Seguin.
Okay, I don't know
who's a pro hockey player.
Okay.
I have a crush on who else? There's some. He's already married, but Eric Decker, he's married to Jesse James Decker. I love them both. It's harmless. Like I'm such a huge fan of her, but Eric Decker is very good looking.
Eric Decker is very good looking. All right, so I hope to see you one day and meet you and give you a nice tight hug. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. But you want me to tell you, if I want to meet anybody, who would it be?
Who?
The Rock. Then you smell.
Oh my gosh. You know what's crazy? Okay, talk about, I feel like I'm on like 6 shots of espresso. Okay, talk about manifesting. You know what's crazy? Yesterday I was also doing another podcast and we were talking about The Rock, and it's funny that you brought him up because the more you start talking and focusing on things, it comes up more often, and I feel like those are like the trail of breadcrumbs. You're getting closer to what you want.
I was listening to this podcast on Louis House podcast, and what's the girl's name? She calls herself Supergirl, Superwoman.
Amy Purdy.
No. I think she's an Indian girl. She's a comedian, big YouTube sensation.
Lily
Singh, right?
Yes.
I'm jealous of her. I'm jealous. Like, how can she have Dwayne Johnson as her everything? Producer, director, mentor. I can't even get a call from Dwayne Johnson.
But okay, watch what you're saying though, because you just said something. I can't take out that word. I swear, once you change that wording, it will happen.
All right. I want to make sure. I want to hear from Dwayne Johnson.
But change it even more. You will.
I will hear from Dwayne Johnson.
Good, because everything has an energy to it. So when you say, I will, I am, I can.
You know what? What's perfect? Me and Kevin Hart are about the same size. So you already know how will it be. Me looking at me sitting right there.
Yes, you are.
All right, Megan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time is something that cannot come back. It's the world's most valuable currency.
Of course.
I appreciate you investing your time with me.
Thank you so much, Sam. It's been an absolute blessing, and I am so, so, so grateful that we got to cross paths virtually.
Yeah, but definitely. One day we'll meet in person.
Of course. Thank you so much, Sam. I had so much fun. Thank you to everyone listening. Go find me on Instagram. And if you're a professional football player, you know where to find me.
Yeah, she's already kind of given you what she looked like. What is she looking for in me? So
I know. I already know what I want. And some people are like, really? And I'm like, honey, I own it. I know what I want. I own it.
football player. All right.
Woo!
Bye, Megan.
Bye.